How do you find below market value properties in 2020? Savvy property investors only buy properties which are below market value, whether 10%, 20%, 30% or even 40% below market value. The way you find below market value properties is by finding motivated sellers. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the profile of a brand new type of motivated seller which is existing in abundance in 2020, which never existed before. But first, if you're new to this channel, my name is Ranjan Bhattacharya. I'm a property investor and developer. I've been doing this game for 30 years, and I've helped hundreds of property investors achieve financial freedom and change their lives through property. I'm the host of the Baker Street Property Meet. The Baker Street Property Meet is the largest property investors networking event in the UK. We meet on the last Wednesday of every month, and it's a place where 300 property investors come to network and learn new stuff from industry-leading property experts. To find out more about our next event, click on the link on the bottom here in the description, bakerstreetpropertymeet.com. Do remember, like, subscribe and hit the bell icon, because we push out new content each and every week. It's all dedicated to helping you be more successful in property. So let's deep dive straight into this. If you're searching around on YouTube for property videos on finding below market value properties, you've probably heard about the 3Ds. Now, the 3Ds are basically the below market value 101 of targeting motivated sellers, and that's to look for circumstances. Sellers who are facing either debt or divorce or death. These are the three main reasons why vendors seek a quick sale, and in exchange for a quick sale, they will accept less money for their property. That makes them motivated sellers. That makes them willing to sell their property at below market value. But in this video, I'm going to introduce you to a brand new profile of motivated seller, which quite frankly never existed before today. So who is this motivated seller that never existed before? Well, let me explain who they are. They're the type of person who 5 years ago or 3 years ago, if they were moving out of their own home, they would look to keep their own home as an investment property, let it out, rent it out to someone else, and then move into a new property for themselves. Now, increasingly, what we're going to find in 2020 and beyond, that this group of people becomes pretty much as dead as the dodo, because there are a whole bunch of new rules and regulations which are coming together, which is going to make it the case where a seller who are living in a property which they live in would rather sell it than keep it and rent it. And let me explain why that's the case and why you're going to find bargains because of this new opportunity. So here is the deal. You found your dream home, you've bought it, you plan to move into it. You do not want to keep your old one and rent it out. Here is why. Number one, if you rent out your previous home and you owned it individually, and you got a mortgage on it, then of course Section 24 is going to kick in. You will have to pay tax on your mortgage interest on your previous main home, as though it's income at your highest marginal rate. That can be problematic. If you're moving far away and you need to employ an agent to look after your property, you're then stuck with a situation where you might be at negative cash flow from renting out your previous property. Number two, if you keep your previous home and you complete on the purchase of your next property, then it counts as a second home, and you then end up paying the 3% SDLT surcharge on that new property purchase. Now, of course, when you eventually sell your first property, you can claim it back, but it's a cash flow hit. And at a time when you're moving home, paying another 3% surcharge in stamp duty for the property you're buying doesn't really help and is not something that you really want to be doing. Number three is the whole thing about your private principal residence relief. Now, when you sell your own home, there is no capital gains tax to pay because it's your main residence and all the rest of it. If you previously, when you rented out your main home, you could rent it out for 3 years after moving out and still not lose out on your private residence relief benefit. Then they reduced that 3-year time window to 18 months. And from this year, that's being reduced further to 9 months. So what this means is that if I move out of my main home and I decide to rent it out and sell it later on, then after the first 9 months of it being rented, it starts to impact on my private principal residence relief. And that's a big, big no-no, which people don't really want to go under. And number 4 is a worry for people renting out their home for the first time. The news and the media is full of new regulations affecting buy-to-let. There's this other uncertainty that the abolishing of Section 21 no-fault evictions is going to happen very, very soon, which may cause concern with brand new landlords as to how they will get their property back when they want to sell. So this is a cocktail of events and new rules which is encouraging people not to want to keep their existing property to rent out and push for a sale to tie in with their future purchase. Now, I always say that the key to being successful in property or in any business is it's all about mindset. Now, new regulations and rules and changes have been coming in thick and fast over the last few years. Now, you can sit there and moan about them. That's one way of dealing with it. Or you can have a little think. You can put your thinking cap on and think, well, how do all these rules mix up in a melting pot and create new opportunities which never existed before? And that's what I find time and time. You know, there are rule changes and scenario changes and all the rest of it. And there's a moment of dread, what am I going to do now kind of thing, and there's a moment of reflection, and then there's a moment of thinking about ways to turn this to advantage. That's what you will get a lot out of if you come down to a Baker Street Property Meet. I host this monthly networking event with 300 property investors meet on the last Wednesday of each month. And at all our meetings, you get an opportunity to network with real people who are doing real stuff in this wonderful world of property, and you get exposed to a whole bunch of experts who are doing leading edge stuff and some leading edge thinking as to how to adapt and play this game. I hope you found this video useful. Remember, there are all sorts of new seller profiles that are emerging from all these new rule changes, which is giving more opportunity, if you like, to the whole game of finding motivated sellers. There are going to be plenty more videos on this subject, finding motivated sellers, that I'll be releasing in the coming weeks. To make sure you don't miss out, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon, and you'll be notified as soon as we upload. Also, comment. Tell me what you think of what I've just said. Until the next video, bye for now. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, what are you waiting for? Subscribe, hit the bell icon. As soon as we upload, we'll let you know. And enjoy these. They're all dedicated to helping you be more successful in property. Happy investing!